So you want to build more muscle, but you don't know how and you don't really know what to do. So today I'm going to teach you everything you need to know and the whole plan to build muscle at home. I went from this to this and gained around 18 pounds by just doing calisthenics and following a simple and affordable diet plan. So we're going to learn all of this today. So what do you need? All you need is a pull-up bar. You can get these on Amazon for like 20 bucks and put them in your door. If you don't have a pull-up bar, then you can either just use a tree branch or some scaffolding or like this light thing. You just got to get creative. And then just get a backpack and put heavy stuff inside of it like rocks or water. And then get some like 5-gallon buckets or sandbags. Okay, so we're going to be basically doing a push-pull leg split. So that means one day we just do all the push muscles, the next day we do all the pull muscles, and then the day after that we do all the leg muscles. And we just do this 6 times a week. We have 1 break a week. This is how we'll structure our workouts. You can either have your rest day at the end of the week, or if you want it in the middle of the week, you can structure it like this. Okay, so for push day, we're going to be doing chest, upper chest, shoulders, and triceps. It's really important to have good form when you're doing your push-ups, so do them slow and controlled, and have as straight of a back as possible and avoid flaring your elbows. Try to avoid arching your back or having your butt high in the air or sagging your push-ups. So if you're not sure about your form, just record yourself doing it and try to adjust it and make your back as straight as possible and avoid flaring your elbows. So if you're kind of bad at push-ups, you can do assisted ones with your knees and just try to get around 20 to 30 of these comfortably. Or you can also do elevated push-ups like these and basically decrease the amount that you elevate your push-ups until it becomes flat on the ground. To work out the upper chest, we're going to be doing decline push-ups. So you have the same criteria with these. Keep a straight back, avoid sagging, and avoid flaring your elbows out. And then to level up, you can basically have a higher decline. So you basically just put your feet on something higher. So here's how I structure my push-up variations. So I do 4 sets, which is basically just like a collection of reps, right? And then the first 2 sets, I do them to absolute failure until I can't do anymore. And then in between those 2 sets, I take a 30-second break. And then the last 2 sets, I take like a 45-second break and I add around 20 pounds to 30 pounds in my backpack for those push-ups. If you don't want to do that, you can also just do a more difficult version of that push-up too. So to work out the shoulders, we're going to be doing pike push-ups. So basically stretch your legs out, try to touch your toes, and then you're going to want to just bend down like this, and you want your feet to be together. So see how my legs are straight and my back is relatively straight. And then all we're going to be doing is we're going to be facing our toes. So you want to look at your toes and just press down like this. Basically, like the farther your feet are away from your hands, the easier it will be. So the more of an angle you really emphasize by having your feet closer to your hands, the harder it will be. So you can level up like that. If the regular version is too hard, try this. So you can either just move your feet farther away to create less of an angle, or you can just bend your knees a little bit to make it a little easier. Then to level it up, you can do them like this, basically by just elevating your feet up a little higher, and then you can eventually move to doing a handstand push-up. The next is diamond push-ups. So you just want to put your thumbs and index fingers together like this, and the same thing is basically just keep a straight back and avoid flaring your elbows, and try to do them slow and controlled, and imagine like you're squeezing a pencil between your 2 shoulder blades. The next exercise, I don't even know what these are called, but they're great for the triceps. So you basically just put the pressure on one side like this and then extend the other arm, and try to do this to failure. And if you can't do these, then just do the elevated version to make it easier. So this is how we're going to set up the sets. So basically just 4 sets each exercise, and then after you do a muscle group, just take like a 1 to 2 minute break. We got to keep it intense. The next is pull day. So we're going to be starting off with back, and I think pull-ups are the absolute king for back growth. So you want to do these slow and controlled, and once again, feel like you're pinching a pencil between your shoulder blades. And I do 2 sets to failure without weight, and then I take a 1 minute break and then add weight around like 30 to 20 pounds, and then do 2 sets to failure after. If you can't pull up, then try these 2 things. So the first thing is just to jump up and hold a pull-up position, and then make the downward movement as slow as possible so you're still working out your back muscles. Once you get good at this, you can go ahead and try a pull-up, but just try practicing this first where you just jump up and hold that position and really focus on controlling the negative motion by going down. The next thing to improve your pull-ups is to do Australian pull-ups, and you just need to find some sort of overhang like this. You could use a pole, a desk, pretty much anything as long as it's stable enough. And once you get good at these, just add some weight, like around 20 or 15 pounds, and then go ahead and try pull-ups. So just focus on those two things before you do pull-ups if you can't do them. Also, it's the same thing with chin-ups. If you can't do them, just try to jump up and hold the downward motion and do it as stable as you can. And then you can also do Australian chin-ups, which is basically the same thing as the pull-ups. You just switch the grip. And then you can also just change the grip when you're doing chin-ups to hit different parts of your bicep. So a good way to grow your traps, which are basically the things by your neck, is to basically grab 2 heavy sandbags or heavy backpack or 5-gallon buckets filled with like sand or rocks, and to shrug them up like this. So you want to have good posture, and you really want to squeeze your shoulder blades together. You want your shoulders to basically touch your ears while your chin is also facing forward. Another good way to grow your traps and also just develop a lot of forearm strength is to just walk around with heavy sandbags or buckets for a couple of minutes and just try to keep good posture while you're walking around, and you'll really feel it in your traps and your forearms at the exact same time. Also, just hanging from a pull-up bar with a heavy bag is a great form workout, and the thicker the bar is, the harder it is to basically hang. So if you want to level up, you can find a thicker bar. So the last thing you want to do is just neck curls. So find a light weight around like 5 to 10 pounds and just curl it up with your neck like you're doing bicep curls. And don't do this to failure because you don't want to get injured. Just try to be like slow with this and controlled, because the last thing you want to do is injure your neck. It's kind of difficult to hit legs without a gym, but here's what you do. So the first thing you do are pistol squats. So you squat down with one leg and stick the other one out, and make sure you stretch before you do this. And if you can't do pistol squats, try this. So basically find like an elevated platform like a bed or a bench and do the same pistol squat, but it's just going to stop you from doing the full motion to make it easier. So when you do the downward motion, just make sure it's slow so you still get that controlled like movement. Once that becomes super easy for you, just do a regular pistol squat, but don't extend your leg fully and keep it bent like this. And then once this becomes easy, then you can move to the pistol squat and weighted pistol squats. The next thing you can do is just hold a squat position for as long as you humanly can, and you'll have like an extreme leg burn. So what I do is I just put like 40 pounds in a backpack like this one, and I just hold it for as long as I can. And then I take a 1-minute break or 2-minute break, and then I just do it basically for 3 times in a row. The next thing to do is to spam burpees for around 2 minutes straight. If you can't do that, do 1 minute. If you can't do that, do 30 seconds. Just push yourself to the limit, and then take a 30-second break after that, and then we're gonna do weighted burpees. Make sure your backpack or whatever is like tight on you, because mine, the straps suck, so it's just sliding all around my pack. Next, do Bulgarian split squats, and just try to go down slowly and really feel the burn. And if you don't have dumbbells, you can just put a heavy backpack on, or put 2 backpacks of the same weight in each hand. And try to do this to failure, and then up the weight on the last 2 sets. So to grow my calves, I like to do box jumps, and I don't care too much about the size of the calves. I just think like having better athleticism is pretty cool. So pretty much just jump up and down as fast as you humanly can for like 30 seconds. Then take a 20 or 30-second break and do this 4 times. And you don't need a box for this. You can just use a park bench or some stairs. And then to finish leg day off, I just do a steep hike for around 1 to 2 miles with a pretty heavy pack, around 30 to 50 pounds. And then every day I just work out abs. So you can either do knee raises like this when you're a beginner, and then you can level up to straight leg raises like this, which are quite a bit harder, right? And then do these to hit the obliques, and pretty much do both of these workouts to failure for 4 sets, and do this every day after each. Okay, so what do we do for diet? So we're gonna be focusing on a lean bulk. So we're basically just increasing our calorie intake while staying healthy and not trying to gain a bunch of fat in the process. So pretty much we're gonna be adding around 200 to 500 extra calories to our current maintenance calories to do the lean bulk. So our maintenance calories are basically the amount of calories we eat every single day that just maintain our current weight. So how do we find the maintenance calories? This is pretty important so you know how much to add to your diet. So what we do is we go to a calorie calculator and you just fill it out, and you'll get a certain number, and it's a pretty rough estimate. It's decent, but if you want to be more exact, do this. So give yourself 3 to 4 weeks, and you're going to want to eat the amount of calories that show up on the calculator. So let's just say it's 2,000. So you eat 2,000 calories of the same types of food every single day for around 3 to 4 weeks. And if you gain weight at the end of those 3 to 4 weeks, like 3 to 5 pounds, then you're going to want to reduce the amount of calories to around 150 to 300 less calories of what showed up on the calculator. and that'll be more close to your maintenance calories. Now, if you lose weight, then you're gonna wanna add around 150 to 300 calories to what showed up on the calculator to get your true maintenance calories. Okay, so what do we eat? So first of all, just a good rule of thumb is to focus on eating single ingredient foods. So try to avoid foods that have a bunch of packaging or weird labels on the back on the ingredients list. If the ingredients list is extremely long and has a bunch of weird chemical names, you probably just want to avoid it. So single ingredient foods are just like beef, eggs, apples, chicken, bananas, like that kind of stuff. So how do we portion out our proteins, our carbs, and our healthy fats? So for protein, you're gonna wanna eat around 1 gram per pound of body weight every single day. This doesn't have to be totally exact number for number, but you should just try to be as close to this as possible. Thing is, there's actually different qualities of proteins. So like your body will digest 200 grams of eggs way better than 200 grams of protein in like almonds or something. So basically, I'll just show this list up on the screen. You can take a screenshot if you want. So for your carbs, you're gonna wanna have around 25 to 40% of your calories come from carbs. And I'm not talking about like simple carbs like breads or donuts or candies. I'm talking about complex carbs. So that is basically just this list on the screen, which I recommend. And then for fats, you're gonna wanna have around, 15 to 30% of your calories come from fats. So here's a list of fats you should focus on eating. And basically these just help with your hormone regulation and a lot of like recovery. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a cost-effective meal plan so you can affordably just get all your proteins, carbs, and fats in. And this whole meal plan should cost you around like $8 to $12 per day. So here are the cheapest proteins per $1. Now obviously this will depend on the store and location you're in. And then here are some cost-effective carbs that I recommend. And then the best bang for your buck for fats are peanut butter and olive oil. So try to just eat like 3 to 4 meals per day. It's pretty simple, and try to include at least like 30 grams of protein per meal. So pretty much just evenly set them apart throughout the day, and that'll help maximize muscle protein synthesis. So muscle protein synthesis is pretty much just the window when your muscle cells will grow bigger from eating more protein. And there's a myth that you can only do muscle protein synthesis or your anabolic window 30 minutes after a workout. This isn't true. Your muscle protein synthesis levels can be spiked like 3 hours after a workout, so you don't have to stress about this too much. Just try to eat like a decent amount of protein around 3 hours after your workout. So if you made it this far, you're a Chad. So I'll leave a link in the description for the full workout plan, the maintenance calorie calculator, how to find your maintenance calories, and then pretty much all the foods you need to eat, cost effectiveness, and pretty much everything you need to know just in one page so you can use it as sort of a guide. So that's pretty much it. If you have a lot of trouble with being disciplined or quitting your bad habits, I do help you out one-on-one. So I have a link in there if you want to just check that out. The first call is free. So pretty much that's it. Hope you have a good one, bro. And I hope this video helped you out. So let's make some gains.